Your kitchen might be where all the action happens, but is it actually sending the right signals? Let's dive in and find out what those little details are that can make a massive difference in how comfortable your guests feel. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Look, the whole point of this isn't to make you feel paranoid or like you need a perfect show-home kitchen. Not at all. It's really just about helping you see your own space through a fresh set of eyes, you know? Making a few small tweaks can create a way more welcoming vibe for everyone. And that includes you too. Okay, so let's get right into it, starting with that all-important first impression. What I found really fascinating is that the first thing guests notice isn't necessarily a little bit of dirt or dust. It's something way more subtle: visual clutter. That's right, clutter is the number one thing that makes a kitchen feel off. It's that sense of busyness, you know? It can make a space feel disorganized, even if you literally just wipe down every single surface. So let's break down some of the biggest offenders. What's so interesting here is this idea of intentionality. Think about it. A counter that's jam-packed with an air fryer, a blender, a stand mixer, and a week's worth of mail just feels accidental. But a counter with just your coffee maker and maybe a nice toaster, that feels purposeful. It feels organized. It's a really subtle shift in perception, but wow, is it powerful. And let's be clear, this is not about hiding your personality or getting rid of your kids' amazing artwork. Not at all. It's about taking that chaotic collage and turning it into more of a curated gallery. When you just pick a few favorite pieces to display, you actually give each one more importance, and you get rid of that feeling of a frantic, disorganized command center. This really shows how clutter isn't always about big, obvious messes. Just look at the typical sink area, right? You've got tangled cords from an appliance, the dish soap bottle, a sponge, maybe a permanent dish rack. Now, each one of those things is super practical, but when you put them all together, they just create this constant sense of disarray. It makes the space feel more like a utility closet than a welcoming kitchen. Okay, so moving on. It's not always about clutter. Sometimes the issue is way more subtle. Let's talk about those small, kind of dated details that can subconsciously affect how a guest sees the entire room. So here's the crucial point. None of these things on its own is a total disaster, right? But when you've got faded dish towels, a dusty fake plant, and some chipped paint all in the same space, well, they all add up. Together, they create this subconscious impression of neglect. Now, if you're looking for the absolute biggest bang for your buck, this is it. Seriously, for a pretty small investment of time and money, just updating things like your cabinet pulls and handles is one of the most impactful, immediate changes you can possibly make. It's such a quick win for a huge design update. Oh man, we have all seen these kitchens where every single item is covered in roosters or sunflowers or grapes. The fix here is about shifting from a really rigid theme to a more personal style. It's about creating a space that has character, and that comes from making thoughtful choices, not from just buying every single item in a specific pattern. All right, we've talked a lot about the visuals, but the overall vibe of your kitchen, well, that's shaped by other sensory details that guests notice the second they walk in the door. This table shows just how much simple shifts can matter. I mean, think about swapping a chemical plug-in air freshener for just simmering some citrus peels on the stove, or replacing that single harsh overhead light with warmer, layered lighting. These things totally transform your kitchen into a place where people actually want to hang out. And this is a really, really important point. A kitchen with zero personality can feel cold and sterile, almost like a showroom. But on the other hand, a kitchen that's packed with too much niche personal decor can sometimes make guests feel like they're kind of intruding on a private space. That sweet spot is right there in the middle. So, after looking at all this stuff, the clutter, the dated details, the overall vibe, what's the key takeaway here? What's the one big idea we should really leave with? This is it, right here. It's not about having the most expensive or the trendiest kitchen. It's about making conscious choices, from the stuff you leave on your counter to the lighting you choose, that show you care, that you care about yourself and you care about your guests. It is all about intention, not perfection. So I'll just leave you with this question. Forget about a total renovation, okay? What is one small, simple thing you can do right now? Maybe it's finally putting that blender away, or swapping out that one faded dish towel, or even just clearing off the fridge door. A single intentional act is the absolute perfect place to start.